Hey guys, so I really don't have a good reason why I haven't done a vlog in a long time, but I have been blogging a lot, so if you've kept up with my blog, then you have kept up with me pretty well. So I have a lot to talk about today, because it's been so long, but I'll try to talk kind of fast, even though I'm not a fast talker at all, but I'll try. You probably heard that we are moving to another state. We're moving to North Carolina. My husband got a job there. And so we're moving to North Carolina, 7 hours away from where we live right now, and it's so exciting. Our move date is October 29th, and our house is for sale right now. It's been on the market for a little bit over a week. So we've been showing the house a lot, so I have to keep it really clean all the time, which is a lot of work with a baby who is 11 months and 3 weeks old. No, he's not a year old yet. He's 11 months and 3 weeks old. I'm not going to say he's a year. So yeah, that's a lot of work, keeping it clean and getting out of the house for 2 hours at a time every time we have a showing. Sometimes showings are during Carter's nap, and I can't deny it. I can't tell people they can't come see the house because they could be a potential buyer. We don't want to lose that chance that they could buy our house. What happen is we are going to move into a temporary apartment for 2 months that Matt's company is going to be paying for. It's furnished. It's a furnished apartment, and they're going to store all of our furniture for 2 months, 60 days. And hopefully by that time, by the end of the 60 days, after October 29th, I think that's like January 1st or something, this house will have sold, and we can buy another house. We are going to be able to really upgrade our house. Right now, this is a townhouse. We don't have a yard. We're kind of in a bad area. So what's so exciting is that Carter's going to get a yard. He's going to get a neighborhood with kids so where we can take walks and everything like that. But it doesn't really feel real right now because we don't need to pack anything. Nothing's really happening except for we're just showing our house, and we're trying to get everything organized as far as when the movers are coming and everything like that. And another great deal with this relocation package is that the movers who are coming to move everything put every single thing in a box for us. Like that candle right there, they're going to box it up. I don't have to organize anything. Just leave everything as it is, all my clothes, everything. They're going to box everything up. Some people say like, wow, how could you handle that? Them going through your stuff, you wouldn't know where everything is. Well, honestly, I don't know where anything is right now anyway, so it's fine with me. Next week, Carter's going to be 1 on Wednesday, a week from today, 7 days away, and that's really, like, freaky and scary and sad and exciting, and he doesn't act like what I pictured a 1-year-old would act like. I thought a 1-year-old would act a little more toddlerish, like grown up, but he's still a baby to me. He still acts like a baby. Sunday, the Sunday after his birthday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we're having a birthday party for him. The theme is going to be pumpkins, because he is a little pumpkin, and it's in October, so I got so much orange decorations, so many orange decorations and pumpkins. I'm going to go get a bunch of pumpkins and put them all over my house, and have so many great ideas for this party. It's going to be really good. Just Matt's family is going to come to it. But that totals up to be 17 people total, so it's a pretty big party. So, as I've talked about on my blog, and everybody wants to know how I did this, is that Carter is now sleeping through the night, which he probably should have been doing many, many months ago, but he wasn't. But I did get him to sleep through the night, and I'm going to tell you guys how I did that. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to finish this vlog. Carter just woke up from his nap. So we'll see how it goes. Haven't tried a vlog recently with Carter this old, so I don't know what he's going to let me do. So I was talking about sleeping through the night, and what I did, okay, let me just give you some background, a little history of what our routine was. So Carter is a breastfed baby. He's still breastfeeding. He's breastfed since day 1. He fed every 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, nonstop throughout the night, 24 hours a day. So eventually, after a couple months of getting up with him in the bassinet in our room, I just moved him into the bed with us, and he was sleeping with us for probably 3 or 4 months straight, he was sleeping with us and breastfeeding throughout the night, waking up all night long. Eventually, I decided, I think when he was about 5 or 6 months old, I decided he really needed to get into his crib and not sleep with us anymore. So I tried to put him in his crib, and he would scream bloody murder. Like, he would cry like he was terrified. Even when we were standing there with him, holding his hand, talking to him, he was just scared of his crib. I moved him back to the bed for a little while to kind of, I don't know, just make it easier for us until he got a little older. Then finally we decided that we needed some kind of transition to the crib, even if it meant he only stayed in the crib for a couple hours. He went down in the crib for a couple hours until he woke up for the first time that night, and then we would stand there for 30 minutes to 45 minutes at a time until he fell asleep. So after a couple hours, he would wake up ready to nurse, and I would just move him to our bed. That was how I was working on the transition. About a month later, I decided that it was time for him to stay in his crib all night, even if it meant getting up every 2 or 3 hours to nurse him. I started to put him back in his crib. And I thought that every time I put him back in his crib, he would cry, and I'd have to stand there for a half hour with him until he fell asleep, but that was not the case. And he was so tired that he would go right back to sleep in his crib when I put him back. So I was really surprised at how well that worked out. I guess that was when he was about 7 or 8 months old. We started doing that. So he was getting up every 2 or 3 hours until 7 a.m. when he was up for the day. After doing this for almost a year, he was about 8 or 9 months old when I was like, I cannot keep getting up every 2 or 3 hours. He's got to grow up. Things have got to move on. It's getting to be way too much work, too much anxiety on me. I hated bedtime because I knew the night was about to begin of waking up and going to sleep and waking up and going to sleep. For the first couple of days, I decided that I would get up with him as much as he wanted me to, as much as he needed to nurse, until it hit 4 a.m. And then 4 a.m., he was on his own. From 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., he needed to figure out how to fall back to sleep himself and not nurse. But I would nurse him as many times as he needed to, up to 4 a.m. And it actually worked. He would only cry for a little bit, and then he kind of learned to put himself right back to sleep without much of a struggle. And so then my plan was about 2 or 3 days later to move the time to 3 a.m. So I moved it to 3 a.m. and I would not nurse him after 3 a.m. I didn't even go in the room. I would let him figure out how to fall back asleep by himself. We did the 3 a.m. and he would fall back asleep on his own from 3 a.m. till 7 a.m. when he was up for the day. And then eventually I decided to move the time to 2 a.m. Well, I did not even need to try to move the time to 2 a.m. because he started to sleep through the night on his own after that. He knew how to put himself back to sleep. He realized that he didn't need to nurse that often. He started to sleep more solidly. He wouldn't wake up every 2 or 3 hours. I put him down at 8 or 8:30, and he slept until about 6 a.m. And then I would get up and nurse him. And so I couldn't believe that just by me moving the time back of when I would get up with him, just by making that little change of letting him figure things out on his own, he completely changed his entire pattern of waking up. So that's how I did it. I do not believe that this is the same as having him cry it out. Having the cry it out method is putting them down and not helping them fall asleep. What happened after we did this, after I started doing this, he actually learned that as soon as I lay him down, it's time to go to sleep. He wouldn't cry and scream in his crib anymore. He laid there happily, just blinking at me. Sometimes he would just roll over and go right to sleep. Everything just seemed to work itself out. So, not saying this will work for for everyone. This worked for me. This worked for us. Everyone's patterns are different. Everyone's babies are different. It might not work for your baby, but this is what I did, and it really changed everything. Life feels pretty normal now that he's sleeping through the night. I don't think I could have done this if he was 5 or 6 months old. Eventually, they reach an age where your heart is a little less tender and you feel like they're old enough to be able to do this, and you don't feel as guilty letting them be on their own for a couple hours in their crib when they're not used to it. I feel like he was okay with this. He did okay. He learned. He's not going to learn. They're not going to learn if they don't have a chance to learn. If you get them every time they need them this late in the age, then they're never going to figure out how to sleep through the night by themselves. So as far as Carter's going, he's got two molars coming in. I think his first molars are coming in on the top, so he's been really grumpy actually. He crawls around a lot. Doesn't really have much interest in walking. I try to help him learn to walk, but he doesn't really care about it. He stands a lot. I can always catch him standing, like I turn around and there he is just standing there. I'm like, whoa. And then as soon as I scream like, wow, he sits down. He's learned to use the word milk in sign language for what it is instead of just copying us when I say milk. He actually asks for his milk now. Or if I say milk, he'll go like this, and then he'll point to his milk. He is so cute. I tell him, like, when he's getting into something he shouldn't be getting into, I say, no, no, Carter, and he's into saying, no, 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 no. And what else does he do? No, no. All right. Carter, can you say yeah, 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 yeah? Carter. Carter, how old are you? How old are you? 1? Okay, go play. You can also blow kisses. Mwah! Like that. He goes, mwah! Mwah! He says, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. He calls everything a boosh. He points at things and he's like, boosh! Boosh! He calls a lot of things bees and bah. You don't hear from me on YouTube for a while, go ahead and follow my blog and look at my blog because I update that about every other day, maybe like twice a week or 3 times a week. If you can't find me on here, check out my blog and the link is below. I will be sure to upload footage of his actual birthday on Wednesday and his birthday party on next Sunday. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll have pictures of all kinds of stuff on my blog for everyone to look at too. So I hope you guys are doing really great. I'll talk to you later. Bye. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah! If you're happy, your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, say yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you're happy and you know it, say yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, say yeah, yeah.